Celebrate. They have done it.
A very good afternoon. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel as Chris with the post-match analysis to Newcastle United's mauling of Manchester United. As you can see, I'm a very happy camper. I've made no secret of my dislike of the team we've just battered at St James's Park. And I can't wait to talk about this with all of you lot in the comments. We're live as always. Jump in the comments. I know loads of you in there already. I'm absolutely buzzing to talk about this game. I was a bit worried in the first half. We'll get into that. But my word, did Newcastle turn it on in the second half and get rid of the fake United. The real United showed up in the second half. Absolutely brilliant. Before I do, if you just catch us up for the first time, good to see you. Smash subscribe. Come help us get to the next milestone. We're over 10K subs now, with thanks to all you guys who clicked that button. Love you for that. And recommend us to family and friends. All free content. If you want to be a member, though, there is an option down there. And it helps the channel grow. It helps support us. And you get some little goodies as well, which we're going to give away a lot more of very, very soon. But let's get stuck in to this talking about this Mint game. So this is how we lined up today. The biggest change really wasn't the team, it was the manager. As we all know, Eddie Howe unfortunately was taken in hospital. You know, we wish Eddie well, wish him speedy recovery. Mad Dog Tyndall was running the line with Graham Jones there. You know, there's some worrying rhetoric being used. We're talking about Eddie being conscious and talking to family. Some people overreacted. I didn't react. I think that was just medical talk, as people do. You know, if he's got a bad viral infection or if it is a COVID type thing, then normal kind of conversations. I think some people went a little bit mad about it, shouting at journalists and stuff. But just repeating what the club said, really, in terms of his statement. So let's hope Eddie is feeling better, and that result certainly will make him feel better. But we're completely unchanged as a starting line. Manchester United, on the other hand, though, the big news was they dropped the man with the hole in his gloves, Onana, and they brought in the other keeper, Benier. It was Premier League debut. There was also a Premier League debut for a young left-back as well, Amas, who was playing his first Premier League game, 18 years old. He had a little bit of an interesting day. We'll get into him in a minute. But as the game started, Newcastle started with blood and thunder. We were right in their faces, bright, lively. Jacob Murphy came close really quickly with a chance, just kind of put it wide. We were right into them, getting stuck in. Joe Linton and Tonali, imperious in midfield, just winning that battle against Fernandes and Ugarte. Manchester United didn't have a chance in hell, to be honest with you. We had a few chances, huffing and puffing, couldn't quite blow the house down. And in the 24th minute, what a goal this was, by the way. Alexander Isak takes a heavy touch, or did he? Did he mean it? He flicks the ball up with a lovely little bit of graceful play, knocks it over the top of Manchester United's defence, and Sandro Tonali's running through. Eyes in the bottom corner, beautiful clean strike, right in the bottom corner. Newcastle won the love. St James's Park erupts, goes absolutely mad, unbelievable. And by the way, I didn't even talk about this. I got straight into the game. The Kevin Keegan display from War Flags beforehand, chef's kiss, absolutely mint. I know some people were asking why we're talking about Kevin Keegan. Listen, if it wasn't for Kevin Keegan, this team wouldn't even be anywhere near what it looks like right now. Saudi Arabia, PIF wouldn't have even bought Newcastle United if it hadn't been for Kevin Keegan. The man is a huge figure in the history of this football club, and he deserved what he got today. Massive respect to War Flags for doing it. It was mint. Absolutely brilliant. And he's synonymous with this fixture. He's synonymous with the rivalry between Manchester United and Newcastle. And there is a rivalry. That is a rivalry. I grew up watching football in the early 90s where we were pushing these wankers for the title. There is a rivalry there. I don't care what Man United fans say. But right now, we are so far away from them, they can't even see us. So weirdly enough, as the game kicked on, Newcastle didn't quite capitalise. We had chances, a couple of headers. Dan Burn came close. Bruno came close. We looked like we were going to get the second goal. Isak pulls off a brilliant save from the keeper with an instinctive finish. And you're thinking it's only a matter of time before Newcastle get the second goal. And that didn't happen in the 37th minute. It was actually Manchester United got the equaliser. Strange bit of play. Tino kind of got caught, third up the pitch, put in a bit of a weak tackle. Probably the only bad thing Tino did all game, in all fairness. I'll get into Tino in a minute. And then Garnacho manages to get a clean pair of heels, tucks inside to a lovely finishing off the post. And Manchester United are equalised 1-1 and really against the run of play. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on there? I don't understand that. Why? How are Manchester United back in this game? They are crap. So then we go in at half time, and I don't know what the Mad Dog said to them in the dressing room, but we came out in the second half and we absolutely annihilated this lot. And they came out and they were terrible. If I was a Manchester United fan, I would be absolutely livid at that limp dick performance in the second half that my team put in, because Newcastle United absolutely fucking steamrolled them. They did. We get the second goal. People were talking about Hook and Harvey Barnes at half-time. I was in the Toon Review chat, and the guys were talking. I think some of them were saying that Barnes wasn't playing particularly great. You know, football's all about pins. I thought Murphy was poor. I thought he didn't use the ball very well in the first half. I was a bit annoyed about the first half, but we made no changes. We've come out and we're all over them. And Tino Livramento, again, an excellent bit of play. He runs down the line. He puts it across the edge of the box. Murphy, to be fair to his credit, whips a lovely ball back into the centre of the goal. And there's Harvey Barnes for that excellent movement that he has. And he definitely has that. He's got an eye for a goal, this kid. He manages to ghost in past 4 Man United players. What the fuck? 4 Man United players? Amram must have been shitting his pants on the bench. He smashes it in the back of net. 2-1, and you think, right, this is Newcastle's game now. We're in control of this. Manchester United were trying, but they just had nothing. We were all over them. Sandro Tonali, excellent again, midfield, winning the ball back, left, right, and centre. And then we get the next goal as well, the third goal. It's Barnes closes down. Brilliant bit of pressing by Harvey Barnes on Matsuri. He falls on his arse, and then Barnes just goes rushing into the goal. And the only thing you could see in Barnes' mind was, I'm scoring a goal here. The determination in his face was unbelievable. Barnes is like a new player. He's like a man. He's like a man, reborn really, in terms of what he's been doing on the pitch recently. He chases through one-on-one. He smacks it in the top corner. Absolutely incredible. Great finish by Harvey Barnes. Newcastle are 3-1 up. We're all over them. Bruno then adds a fourth. Keeper has a howler, kicks a shit cross out or shit clearance out. Joe Linton heads it down, and Bruno just finishes with a plum. Bruno actually didn't have a very good game today, in all fairness, I don't think, but scores that goal. I don't give a fuck. It's 4-1. It should have been about 6 or 7. We let Manchester United off in the first half. We absolutely annihilated them. Joe Linton goes off. He's had a bit of needle with Ugarte, who's not from Argentina, as I did say in the preview. I know I was pulled up for that. He's from Uruguay, but I know there was needle between them players because there's been needle before. The South Americans are a little bit like that. They do like to kick each other and get into each other. Joe Linton's got a bit of an issue, I think, with Ugarte. I don't know where that's from, but he definitely has. But he went off a little bit of a Barney. Bruno kind of scored him off when they both put off the pitch. We made some substitutions. Miley come on, Longstaff come on, Wilson come on, Gordon came on. What I liked as well about this was that Mad Dog did not take off Harvey Barnes. He left him on the pitch. And Murphy came off and Barnes went over to the right and Gordon went over to the left. And that was interesting because for me, you have to have Barnes and Gordon in the same team. I've said this for ages. I like the way Murphy's played. He's been excellent for us this season. But Harvey Barnes is an unbelievable goal threat. We scored 4 goals today and Isak hasn't got any. You know, that shows you how good and clinical Harvey Barnes is. But a brilliant performance by the lads. That's us up to 4th in the table now. If we win against Crystal Palace on Wednesday, we are 3rd. Unbelievable. Let's get into some of your comments. George is in there, battered like a lettuce in Glasgow. Class. That was for Eddie, says Stevens. Absolutely. Barnes was outstanding. Vincent says we are stone cold killers, absolute professionals. George says Barnes was man of the match for him comfortably. Barnes was excellent in the second half. My man of the match, I'm going to say, was Tonali, because I just thought he was everywhere. He was absolutely class today. He really, really was. You know, he gets the goal. He's got a 91% passing accuracy. You know, he's won one of his 2 aerial duels. Ground duels. It's 1 interception, 1 tackle, 2 clearances. I just felt he ran the show. But yes, it's hard not to give Barnes man of the match with 2 goals. And Tino Livramento today, excellent. I thought today, once again, absolutely excellent. George is saying, Amram at the wheel, take them to the championship. Absolutely. He's saying, Digger Barnes, you fucking legend. That's him up to 8 goals now, Harvey Barnes. 8 goals. I wouldn't back him, get against him not getting 10 goals this season. And for a guy who looked like he was out of the team and never getting back in earlier on, that shows you what the guy's all about. If we can get this guy playing like this, he's an unbelievable Premier League footballer. Really, really is. Chris is saying, 2 seconds there. Chris is saying, formidable, would have been better, lad. Get well soon already. Well done, JT, and who are the lads? I think he's talking about the title there, but well done, mate. Well done. Ian says, best medicine for Eddie, 3 points. Class. It really, really was, Ian. And Ian Brownlee saying, what performance tonight? The best midfield in the world football, I'm calling it right now. George says Tonali's goal was orgasmic. Kev says, Kevin Keegan would have loved it today. He would have loved it today, mate. Absolutely right. Paul is saying, what a result. Mint You've seen United now. Fuck off home. Absolutely class ball. Trolls is buzzing. He's loving that. Yeah, George is saying the commentary shy as per usual. They just can't stand other teams beating the so-called cartel, can they? Vincent saying Gordon's got some work to get his spot back. He does, unless we can find a way to get them both into the team, which would be really, really interesting. Ian's also saying, Keane's saying Man United are an average side, and the two that used to win in big games. I bet that hurt him. Well, to be fair, he did say on the podcast that we play nice football, and we do play nice football. They're all talking about how boring the game's got, and the centre-halves have more of the ball in the midfield, and where are the exciting players gone. And Keane, to be fair, did say we play good football. And Neville said, yeah, they do. And then he mentioned Villa as well, because it hurts him to say Newcastle are better than Manchester United. Phil said Tonali, Bruno Barnes, Livramento, simply awesome. Absolutely class. Stephen says, we play it right this summer. We could be title contenders. I don't disagree with that at all, Stephen. So people might think we're nuts, right? But you throw in 2 or 3 really good players. I'm just going to throw out a few names here. I'm not saying we're going to get them, right? You throw in Dean Howson in place of Fabian Schär. You throw in Brian Mbeumo in place of Jacob Murphy, right? You throw in a better goalkeeper who can actually kick in a straight line, maybe like Trafford, for example, right? Why couldn't we be title contenders? Why couldn't we be? George is saying third is ours to claim, absolutely. And Christopher saying first goal was magic, the Isaac pass, Sandro's volley nearly creamed in my pants. It was fucking mint. It was absolutely fucking mint, to be fair. But for me, like I say, this team right now, the way we're playing, the confidence that we've got, we knew winning the cup was going to be a massive defining part of the season. It could have been for the good or for the bad, because we could have rested on our laurels. We could have become more complacent. We could have, phoned it in for a few games and just lived off the adulation of winning the cup and ending that trophy drought and guaranteeing European football in a way. But they haven't done that. They've come back. They've dug in to some great results against Brentford, against Leicester as well, where they killed it in the first half. They've been ruthless today as well. That's 7 goals in 2 games there as well. Looking at the rest of the fixtures we've got there, Palace, Villa away is a sticky one. Villa are a good side. If we can beat Villa, we'll take points off them. We've got Chelsea at St James's. We can take points off them as well. Chelsea drew today. So Chelsea on this fucking unbelievable side that nobody can beat, right? Newcastle United right now are a better team than Chelsea, right? We should be going to those games full of confidence that we can beat teams like Chelsea and Aston Villa, to be honest with you. And it kept saying, yeah, Forest are wobbling. Forest are wobbling. Third could be ours on Wednesday. And if we keep this form up, then why not back on Newcastle finishing third? Because they absolutely could do. Nick said Barnes gave Tuchel another tune play to think about. I tell you what, Nick, that's a good shout, because Barnes is often overlooked in the England picture, right? There's no England midfielders right now who are going out there scoring goals like that. Foden's on the on the way down by the looks of it. He's had a horrendous time of it recently. Jack Grealish is out of the team as well. Obviously Gordon's there, but there's no English midfielders or wingers scoring goals right now like that, like Harvey Barnes is doing. So maybe Tuchel is thinking, hang on a minute, if this kid keeps playing like this, maybe I should call him up to the England team. And I think he would definitely be well worth it. It would be fun. So nice to see his bossing the second half of games. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And George said he was well impressed with how Mad Dog controlled the lads today. So impressed. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Ian said, Bruno, you're live on Shit Sports. Please do not swear. That would have been absolutely mint if he did swear, to be honest with me. I'd loved him even more. Philip is saying, Tottenham, Man United, West Ham are very lucky not to be in a relegation battle this season due to how awful Southampton, Leicester, Ipswich have been. Preach, brother, preach. You are absolutely right, because Manchester United are 14th in the table. They are terrible. Now, I feel a little bit sorry for Amram, right? But he knew what he was taking when he took the job. What he should have done is stayed at Sporting, hung around till the summer. He probably would have got a better job. But he's took that job on now. There's a massive, massive rebuild that has to be done at that football club. They need to forget about signing all these, big name Instagrammable players. And they need to go back and sign just proper hard work and grafting players like, of an ilk of the John McGinn or something like that. But they won't do that because Manchester United as a club are too snobby, too arrogant. They think they're better than that. They think they're going to sign Tonali or fucking Isak or something. They're absolutely delusional. They're not the biggest club in the Premier League. Not even the biggest club in Manchester anymore. It's Manchester City. It doesn't matter what you've done in the history. It's what you're doing right now. And your club is a dumpster fire. And no self-respecting footballer would want to go there. And I think they're going to struggle in the summer. I think they're going to try and bring players in. They're big players, and I just don't think they will. They might get Gyökeres because of the manager, but that's a big risk for Gyökeres to take. He could go to a much bigger club in a much better situation than Manchester United, 100%. Ragatoni saying to a man, Tonali, Bruno, Isaac, Barnes, these lads are winners, absolutely, mate. And we love the fact that they play for us. David saying Tonali is our best player. I'll stand by that. He just makes it look so easy, David, doesn't he? I was watching him there, just the way he's on the ball, the calmness, the composure, whether he's tracking back and making a challenge, whether he's picking a pass out. I just think he's absolutely class. And little shout out for Louis Miley as well, by the way. Come off the bench, got stuck into a couple of tackles, a couple of nice passing moves, nice little move with Tonali as well. He's had a bit of shit recently, Louis, and I thought he did really well when he come on as well. He's not going to get the game time that he probably wants, but I thought he was a lot better today when he come on. And I think a lot of people who give him shit need to wind that in. Stevenson, you said it a while back, Chris, he's the kind of player who could have the season of his life backed by a better team with the gaps filled, score 30 goals and win us the league. I definitely think he could, mate. Why would Isak want to leave Newcastle when we're ripping teams to pieces like that? And, we could be third this season, with the PSR hampers and the fact we haven't been able to sign players. You let us sign players, then why can't we push for the title next season? I generally think if we get in the kind of players that we have been linked to, the likes of Housen and Buemo, players like that, Trafford in goal, I generally do think we could be pushing for the title. I really, really do. You can clip that and play it back, but I really do think that we could be pushing for the title. Derek's saying second is a possible target to aim for. That's where we should be aiming. Why not, Derek? You're absolutely right, mate. You're absolutely right. And I'm sure Eddie would have loved seeing that. Absolutely loved seeing that today. Big Al saying dropped an honor and put another clown in goal. I mean, that's just even better. That's like the cherry on top of the cake, Al, isn't it? They dropped an honor. And they thought, right, that's it. We've got a great keeper in now. He's going to be mint. And then they conceded 4, and the keeper had a fucking howler again, which was I love it. I love beating them lot. In the words of KK, I love it beating Manchester United. They're so arrogant as a fan base. Fuck them. There was even somebody in the preview saying that my hatred for Man United outweighs my love for Newcastle. That's not really right, mate. My love for Newcastle far outweighs my hatred for Manchester United. But the fact that you are shit makes me smile and feel warm inside, like I've just had a bowl of porridge. Steve saying the only thing that took away from the game result was that Man United are fucking awful. But you managed to enjoy that. You got to enjoy that, mate. Anyone who watched Man United bulldoze teams for as long as they did, like us, have got to enjoy what they're seeing right now. Absolutely. Stephen saying, Goldbridge interviewing Bruce. Imagine the phoning. Well, Mark. Oh, mate, honestly. I'm actually going to watch Goldbridge later. I really am going to watch Goldbridge just to watch the meltdown of that game. I need to see it. I need to see the tears strolling down his face when the fourth goal goes in. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. Mark saying the title. That's silly talk, to be fair. Well, Mark, hey, you got to dream big, mate. You got to shoot. You got to shoot for the stars and land on the moon, mate. That's what you got to do. Why not? Why not? We're Newcastle United. We can fucking do it. We can beat anyone. Coming there from Derek saying they might as well ring a Billy Smart circus to get a new number 1. To be fair, I mean, there's jugglers out there somewhere that are probably auditioning for the Manchester United number 1 jersey, because that's probably about as good as they could do. David said the scum still singing about Shearer, talk about living in the past. That's all they do. They just live in the past, these Manchester United fans, because they cannot accept the fact that they are no longer at the top table. They are so far. They're not even at the kiddie table. They're eating out the bins in the car park, man. That's how far out of the fucking equation that they are. They're so out of it, man. That is a huge rebuilding job right there for that guy who's on the TV now getting interviewed, Amram. And I'll respect him for coming out to the press and taking the shit that he's taken. But even now I'm laughing at them saying, you can see what he's doing. The building blocks are there. And you think, really? Building blocks, more like fucking Duplo box. I mean, they're playing like a bunch of children. Absolutely horrendous at the minute. But the real United won that game today. The real United showed in the second half, and we smashed them. We absolutely smashed them. Yeah, Cushy's saying Tino has so much confidence now. It's weird because Mark messaged me in the game, and he said that Tino at left back is just like a reborn player. And I want Tino to take what he's doing at left back and move it over to right back next season. As good as Trips has been, it was great today, Tripp, as well, by the way. But I want to see Tino do what he's doing at left back and right back next season. And then when the Hall comes back, we've got them both either side, and that would be something to just absolutely buzz over, really. And if we can get Botman back fit and staying fit and get a quality centre half alongside them in the shape of like a house, and then that back four is up there with some of the best in the Premier League. Andy B says, boom, absolutely. And the Clon lad says, where the lads? Absolutely Can't agree any more with these comments, guys. What a game. What a brilliant performance in the second half by Newcastle United. Absolutely smashed it. Alice will be the only Man United fan who will give us credit for the win. She will. She's very good, Alice. We know that. We've got a lot of love for Alice in our fan base because she's very good. She talks very well about all football clubs, and she should be on things like Sky Sports and that. She really should. I know Stunt Peg does really well. I've got a lot of time for her, but I think Alice is excellent. I think a lot of these football channels should reach out and get her on. I think she speaks really well and talks very well about the game. But she is running 3 channels, I think, at the same time, to be fair. So it's very hard for her to do that. Imagine a lot of stuff to do for us. Tom would have said, I flipped to Goldbridge just to see his reaction. I'm going there after this, Tom. Believe you me, mate. Philip saying, Kieran Trippier has been a great form of late. To his credit, back to how he was when he first came to the club. He really has. I think he's worked on his fitness, no doubt whatsoever. I think he looks sharp, he looks leaner, he looks fit. So does Barnes as well, and you can see that in his performances and the way that he's scoring goals as well. And long may that continue. Long may that continue. We've got Adiri saying, hi, Chris. How are you? Newcastle United versus Man United. Man of match with Sandro Tonali. Yeah, I agree with that, mate. Tyndall has the manager of the season, Chris Ray. Okay, mate. I don't know who Chris Ray. I don't know. Is that my name? I don't know who Chris Ray is, mate. But very good. Very good. Listen, we'll beat Man United 4-1. It's all good. PSP Electrical saying, can I just say, we are very good at football. We are very good at football. You can say it, mate. Say it as much as you want. Big Domison Barnes is a totally different player when he's playing regularly. Barnes is that type of player. He has to play. He has to play his way into form, doesn't he? He can't just dip in and dip out. Barnes, he has to consistently be in the team. And when he is, he can do things like that. I mean, the second goal, strength, just, control, pace, and then the ability to just top bins it without breaking sweat. Fucking class. He knew exactly what he was going to do when he got it. And I love that about Barnes. When Barnes first came to the club in pre-season, he was doing that. He was scoring goals. He was getting assists. And you were thinking, wow, this guy's unbelievable. And if you can keep him fit and keep him on form in the team, Barnes is a great player. And Stephen's right. He's a conference player. There is no doubt about it. Chris Darcy saying, you've seen United now. Fuck off for him. Absolutely, mate. Nils is saying, isn't it just lovely to relax and glow? It is superb, mate. I enjoy it massively. Formal Dan is saying, I literally just switched over from listening to Goldbridge, cried because it's mathematical. This is the worst Man United team. Things you love to hear. I'm definitely watching it. There's no doubt about it. I will enjoy it and watch it with a glass of wine or a beer later. No doubt about it, guys. I think that's us pretty much wrapped up now. That unbelievable performance by Newcastle United in the second half. We did what we needed to do. We were ruthless. We didn't give a fuck. We took care of business. Harvey Barnes is bang on form. Isak didn't even get a goal. That shows you how good we were today. The defense was good. Tino was brilliant. Byrne played well. Share a good game. Trips had a good game. Midfield 3, had a solid game as well. Bring on Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. We'll be back with some more content. We'll be back with a preview for Palace and back on Wednesday night with the live post-match analysis for the Palace game, where hopefully Newcastle United have got the win to get third in the table. Like and subscribe, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a belter Sunday. Go get a beer or a takeaway. Do whatever. Manchester United is shit. Roll it back again. Manchester United is shit. Newcastle United are mint. Have a belter. We'll see you later. Take it easy.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.